this is the story. I'm going to go to Joe Rogan Experience 1292. I'm going to read the story that Spin Quark has just published. Joe Rogan said on that episode, quote, "I think Twitter definitely are biased against conservative people. It's really clear that someone in the company, whether it's up for manual review, whether it's at the discretion of the people that are employees, without a doubt, you're dealing with people that are leaning left." Ben Shapiro's show, 793, he said, "The enemy of the people. Why is Facebook answering that question?" From the Daily Beast. If the Daily Beast goes to Facebook and says, "I want the identity of whomever published this Nancy Pelosi video," why is Facebook revealing that identity? The guy didn't commit a crime. The guy didn't involve himself in slander or libel. How in the world is it Facebook's job to answer questions from the Daily Beast about the source of this video? Well, that's a good question, and I'm about to give you the answer, and here it is. How is it that Facebook, who refuses to dox any of the violent Antifa terrorists that use its platform, they tried to get them to pull down an Antifa group that was inciting violence just this weekend. They didn't. But how is it they won't dox or let any information out or even take them down from their platform, are happy to give up personal details of a Facebook user who anonymously uploaded a slowed video of Nancy Pelosi? Within minutes, a journalist from the Daily Beast called Facebook and got the information, the personal information from this person. Well, does anybody even know how you even call Facebook? How do you call Facebook? Nobody knows. How do you call Twitter? Well, what if I told you that a policy director at Facebook was Nancy Pelosi's chief of staff before taking that job directing policy at Facebook? What if I told you that the head of algorithm policy at Facebook worked for Hillary at the State Department? Or that the head of content policy worked for the Hillary presidential campaign? What if I told you the person in charge of privacy policy at Facebook used to work for Al Franken? And before that, he worked for Senator Bonoff, before he worked for Congressman Oberstar? Or that the director in charge of countering hate and extremism at Facebook came directly from the Clinton Foundation? Did you know that the person at Facebook who currently oversees, I'm quoting, oversees programs on countering hate speech and promoting pluralism and develops, still quoting, internal third-party education that drives thought leadership on hate speech and content moderation, end quote, was one of Obama's policy advisors at the White House? Do the American people even know what pluralism, the social justice warrior definition of pluralism, is? Remember, this is in regards to the person that oversees programs on countering hate speech and promoting pluralism that was one of Obama's policy advisors. Classical pluralism is the view that politics and decision-making are located mostly in the framework of government, but that many non-governmental groups use their resources to exert influence. The central question for classic pluralism is how power and influence are distributed in the political process. Groups of individuals try to maximize their interest. Lines of conflict are multiple and shifting as power is a continuing bargaining process between competing groups. Let me boil it down to this. There are those who believe that a mistake like Donald Trump can never happen again. And the only reason why it did is because people, the American people, were too stupid. And so what they believe is that because people are too stupid to pick people, power needs to be concentrated in their social media group. And they will help everyone pick. That's what they're doing. And it's not just this social media. Pluralism, the way they define it now, involves getting people from the government involved. This is not a shadow government. This will become the government because it will make the Bill of Rights and everything else useless. Now, there's also economic pluralism. The term pluralism is generally used to contrast with so-called mainstream economics teachings, which generally only focus on one school of economic thought called neoclassical economics. That economic teaching should include other schools of thought, such as complexity, institutional, post-Keynesianism, and Marxist economics. Now, why does Facebook have somebody whose job it is to show others how to use their platform as a type of privatized government and exert influence over the public? And what exactly does it mean to Facebook to, quote, exert influence, end quote, over the public? We've been witnessing this a little more day after day. How about YouTube? How does Laura Southern's documentary about the border get removed from YouTube within 24 hours of posting without any reason or explanation? Well, what would you say if I told you that the policy manager at YouTube, before becoming the policy manager at YouTube, was employed by Hillary for America, was also a manager in Obama's campaign before that? What if I told you that YouTube's global content policy lead previously worked at the DNC? Did you know that the person responsible for growing the next generation of stars on YouTube worked in the Office of Digital Strategy at the White House under Obama? Or that the person in charge of developing the careers of YouTube creators was the director of video for Obama? Speaking of helping the careers of creators, did you know that Vox, the company that got Steven Crowder demonetized, was one of the companies that YouTube doled out $20 million to for educational videos? 10 people directly connected to the progressive Democratic political machine are the ones now controlling our conversations online. Does it seem like it's an important warning? What if I told you there were nearly 100 more? Did you know that the public policy manager for global elections at Facebook was Obama's National Security Council director for Russia before he was a special advisor for Joe Biden? What kind of election policy do you think he's going to be advocating at Facebook leading into 2020? Again, you'll find this story at Spin Quark. You'll need to look for the first link on that front page, and it says, take it for a spin. It's their news page. And look at their first story. I want you to tweet this out to everyone. I think this is a very important story. I'm only about halfway through.